Hello and happy Tuesday. So I was ready to come live already yesterday for you, but kind of like I had my idea, here it is, ready to go and such, and then realized it's St. Patrick's Day, and there's something funny about that. You know, you think your kids grow up and grow past some of their things that they thought about for traditions when they were younger and such. And all of a sudden yesterday, my oldest, he's 29, and he was walking away from the house, and I said, oh, I probably should make your favorite St. Patrick's Day cupcakes. Yeah, he said, I was going to tell you that you slipped and you missed out or messed up, and then I realized that today is St. Patrick's Day. So that's what he said, and I said, yes, today is St. Patrick's Day. So then I got out, it's cupcakes made with like pistachio pudding, and it's got little miniature chocolate chips in there made from scratch, and then chocolate frosting with more miniature chocolate chips sprinkled on top, and then I put green sprinkles on top of that too. So it was really fun. So I made a dozen for us here, and then I sent a dozen off to my oldest and his family, and I sent a dozen off to my middle son, who has people that live in his home too. So I made 36 cupcakes, and then it hit me that I had been gone in North Carolina, and I was so tired. Like, I don't think I could have put together a video if my life depended upon it. So that was yesterday, and I'm feeling a lot more like myself today, that is for sure. And Sunday, when our flight was supposed to leave, they were in a tornado watch, severe thunderstorm warning, and you could just hear the airport just shut down, and there's that moment of freakish silence before generators kick in, and no announcements were made for planes going in or out. And I thought, we're going to be here for a while. So our flight was delayed about 3 hours or so. So it was a great feeling to come home Sunday night and be home and know that we made it home safely. So I have to show you this fun bag that we got from Stampin' Up. Actually, I have to show it to you this way. There we go, because it has the logo there. So every time you attend a large event from Stampin' Up, they always have either like a purse or a tote or some kind of fun bag. This is really fun. It's like one of those bog bags, and then the sturdy handles, but then this was also inside, and so I thought it almost looks like ear headphones or whatever, but they're alternate handles for it. And then look at this, like this comes out, so if you want to put this in a different tote, then you have all these compartments in there, like a very generous one for some people would say like a water bottle. I would say for the large Diet Mountain Dew that I often tote around. And then for leaders, they actually gave us this fun little wristlet that has the Stampin' Up logo here, and a couple little pouches here. I already clipped one, because that's also the fun thing about this tote. It has a little clip that stays here, so I took off one of my little pouches here that says Stampin' Up, and I put my little chapsticks that I like to carry and attach that to it. So sometimes when Stampin' Up gives us a bag, I say to my husband, you know, it's cute and I'll use it, and I do use them. And this time I used this right from the get-go. I put my things in it and used it the whole time I was there in North Carolina. And thank you also for allowing me to celebrate all of these achievements while I was there. So it's kind of like a celebration of the Stampin' Up year 2023 to 2024, because the Stampin' Up year starts October 1st, runs through September 30th. So that's kind of how they ran their celebrations and the recognition. So like it's my title, and then the different achievements I earned in sales, team building, leadership, and incentive trip. So when you see these banners, that's what that means. When you see pictures, and I know some of you follow other demonstrators, not just me, and that's okay too, because there's just such a feeling of family, and there's so many people cheering other people on also during the event. So just a little recap about that, and I'll probably just give you little bits and pieces and goodies as we go along too. Let me get my camera turned around. Hi there, Diane, thanks for joining in. Okay, so before I get to my card, just a couple things. Oh yeah, so it's always fun too. We like to give pillow gifts to some of our besties, Stampin' Besties, roommates, different things like that, teammates. And this is one that I actually got from my teammate. I did bring one teammate along, Gretchen, and she made this for me, her and her husband. Well, just the packaging she made, like, is so incredible with the Velcro there. And it is my own personalized bone folder. So how fun is that? Love that. Probably need a new one. Not that these things wear out, but sometimes I get them gunked up with like adhesives or inks and different things. So it's kind of exciting to have a new pristine one there. So that is kind of an idea of what some of the pillow gifts are, if you talk about team gifts or swag that people here are hearing about too. Annual catalog. I cannot even flip this open to show you, but this is also something that we got while attending the event. If you are a demonstrator, one of the thrills is that you can already see this online as a PDF. So that is another reason why demos like to be demos and sign up, because then you can see things ahead of time. Okay, so let's get to the real reason probably anybody tunes in, and that is to make a card or see me make a card, give you some inspiration, right? So from the current mini catalog, and what I should back up and say too. So going forward, this is something that's kind of new, and I think it hit us harder this time. So we have this annual catalog, and usually as demonstrators or even as customers, when you get the new catalog, the whole idea of, oh, now I can see what's retiring versus what's staying. Well, now things might be moving from the previous annual catalog or even mini catalog to online exclusives or last chance list where they stick around longer. So we're used to looking back here and going, oh, this is good till May 5th. Well, that's true for I can't even say guarantee, because sometimes things sell out, but know that after that, certain things like might go into the next annual catalog from the mini, or the annual catalog, it might carry over, it might go to online exclusives, it might be there for a while, it might not be there very long. So we're kind of in this new thing, it's a new transition that we have to get used to, but I just wanted to give you some insight on that. So if you see something, it might not technically be gone, but it might be. So around April, they will tell us what those will look like. So that'll give us about a month to kind of prepare and plan for what's staying and what's going. Okay, so from this mini on page 58, this is where my card is coming from for some of the pieces and such, the images, and it's the bright borders. What did I just stick that on to? Okay, the bright borders. So this is a standalone stamp set, as far as there's no 10% bundle pricing, but if I page back a few pages on 54, this is a bundle. So this stamp set, Bright Borders, coordinates with this punch that is bundle price for 10% off that way. I haven't shown or done anything with a punch. I probably will start soon, maybe even this week at this week's stamp camp in Fairmont on Thursday. But the reason why this sold out in January and it doesn't come back yet till next month. So I'm always, feeling like, oh, I shouldn't show that if it's not going to be available to buy, because sometimes when I do these videos, believe it or not, people want to buy the products, and so then if it's not available, I feel bad about that. So that's kind of where these coordinate with. And if you want to ever be put on a list of, hey, let me know when that's back in stock, I keep a note right by my computer, lots of notes to check on that for you. All right, so with this, kind of the highlight is that pretty yellow paper, the lovely paper. I should get that. Oh, here. Yay. I was like, where is that again? So this is that Floral Delight suite. So I'm focusing on this paper here to make my card today. So that is the paper called Floral Delight. It's 12 by 12, but I'm just using kind of just a little chunk of it here and then little snips of it there. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you on here. And like I feel like I have so many like things to tell you. So my card base is thick white, and if you've heard anything lately, that the thick white was going to be taken away, it was going to stay, it's not going to stay, it's going to come back, but 12 by 12. So the final word is thick basic white will be returning. So that is something to keep in mind, that you don't have to panic. So they're going to give us our thick basic white that we are used to, 8.5 by 11, and there's going to be 24 sheets like there always have been. So that is how the thick basic white, I'm talking only thick basic white today because I don't want to confuse people. So thick basic white, they were going to bring back only in 12 by 12, but then they listen to us. So anytime you guys have suggestions or thoughts, just know that Stampin' Up! Does listen. So within a week's time, we are going to have thick basic white as a staple like we are used to. It will not be showing up in the catalog, it will be online, but at least we have it. I love it for card bases. A lot of my card bases that I use are the colors. And even my son said, Mom, you're kind of making this seem like it's a big deal. Don't you often use your card bases as colored cardstock? And I really do. But the time that I want it to be a white card base, that's when I want the thick, because it just holds up better and it stands up better when people get their card and receive that. So that's the little insight on that. And then next what I did is took a layer that is, I'm just measuring it off to the side, 3.75 by 5. And then I used the Eyelets 3D embossing folder and did that ahead of time already on that. And now this is ready to get put on my card. After I got home and before I left, I was making swaps and different things. And all of a sudden I'm looking at my adhesive and it looks like it's about down to the end. Hopefully it doesn't happen during the video because I think it just happened on my last video. And that tells you I go through a lot of adhesive. Okay, so I just took, like I said, some snippets of that lovely paper from that Floral Suite. Hi there, Shannon. Good to see you. So these two are the same size, and that is, just double checking my measurements, 3/4 inches by 4. So two of those that size. And then my middle one is going to be also 3/4, but 4 1/4. So I'm going to stick with that first middle one. I feel like it helps me if I have one put down in the middle. And I'm just eyeing it. Some people that would drive cuckoo if they couldn't get out their ruler and get that exactly. But that for me is good enough. And like you could pick, do you want it to be that way or that way? And even in that same set, there's like a brighter, thicker, like yellow in there, or even like a crumb cake kind of, like a fabric background too. So this is gonna go down next to that. So this is just gonna be a little bit shorter, both from the top and from the bottom. I'm gonna put this last strip. I actually cut these down from a sheet of 12 by 12, but this is a great card for when you have, oh gosh, I even have this on my desk, Thoughtful Journey. I love this. I have went through it. I'm pretty proud. Thoughtful Journey, I had a couple packs of this, and this is all that is left out of 96 6x6 sheets of paper. But as you can see, I've got all of these strips. So this could be a fun way to use up those kind of strips like that. So keep that in mind too. Side note, Thoughtful Journey is carrying over into the next annual catalog, which I know some of you will be super excited about because it's so pretty. All right, the next thing that I have to add to this is a circle from the Spotlight on Nature's dies. And the Spotlight on Nature's dies, because I haven't used those for a little bit, I was kind of in a rut where I was using them all the time. You can see all of these dies, and then when you see this like that, you'll go, oh yes, I know which one that is. She did use it all the time. And so that is the die that I chose to cut this out of the Floral Delight Designer Series paper. So now this I'm going to just pop up with dimensionals and put right on top. And yeah, like how fun is that background? It just looks so fun with that texture look to it. All right, kind of like a table mat that you'd put on your table. All right. Okay, the tops are coming off before this. I thought, oh, I just have a few left. I'm just going to use those up, but the tops came off first besides the dimension off the sheet. So I'm just going to kind of center that between those strips there, and I'm going to put a sentiment and a little bow and some embellishment, so I'm not really too careful about where the flowers go because they themselves are random. And this is when I bring over my bright border stamp set. I love it because it's got the borders and it's got some images and it's got lots of nice sayings. Like I said, standalone set here. Hello, Julie. Welcome back. Welcome back from vacation. All right, so I'm going to open up my Old Olive ink pad. And from the bright borders, there's this little congrats here. So I'm just going to stamp that out on like a 1/2 inch piece of basic white. Photopolymer, very easy to cut and trim. And then I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit more. And I'm going to make that banner cut by cutting up the middle and then from each side going towards the middle, and that helps me to kind of get it centered that way. I'm going to just go and snip the end off there. I'm just going to like set that aside for a little bit. On my sample, you can see where I've cut this little bow and did that, and that's nice and all. And then today, I don't know why, I've never noticed it till today. It's not bad, I like that, but it's kind of a little sparse. So I thought, I wonder if today, leave it to me to never do this on camera live, but let's just do it live for the first time. So if it doesn't work out, then it's really bad. But I have 2 spools of that Baker's Twine 3 color pack. This is the one. Let's see. That is, I would like to show you kind of where it comes from. Here we go. It has got the Balmy Blue and the Flirty Flamingo and the Lemon Lolly all together. I think that's it as far as the colors. And so I'm just taking 2 of those together. Because I have big fingers, I always leave it on the spool. You might say, why don't you just snip off 2 long pieces? But I never know how much I'm going to need. And I like to have a lot to spare. So I'm just going to make a rabbit ear and then pull it out, make another rabbit ear, and pull that out. And then I'm going to twist these together and pull that through. Yay! And so I thought, you know what, this could be kind of fun to have this just a little bit thicker on the card. All right, so that worked out way better than I thought it would. And then I'm just going to grab a mini glue dot here, push that into there, and now this is ready to go on my card like so. So having a glue dot there, you can see I'm going to tug, so it leaves that loop and that loop secured because you can't tug it loose, which is great. So now on my congrats, I'm going to just take and grab another sheet of dimensionals that's like almost to the end, but that's where all the good stuff is. It's that stuff around the edges. And I'm going to pull that off. Hopefully it's not too long. Nope, it's not perfect. That's going to go along the back here. And then that's going to go and go over some of that ribbon. And then that's going to be like that. And then I'm going to come back with some embellishments. And these are the adhesive back dots for days. So we've got some nice like pool party here. Looks like Flirty Flamingo, kind of these same colors that come in that ribbon. Shocking. It's like it coordinates. That is totally why I started with Stampin' Up, because I can't coordinate things on my own for nothing. Okay, so I thought the green would show up best on this yellow. So I'm deciding to grab a larger and a smaller of the green there. But then I kind of wanted to put a couple more embellishments. So I'm just going to grab from the large yellow section and kind of put those on 2 spots where there's white. So it just kind of blends in. It's a subtle embellishment. It's not going to pop like some of the embellishments, but I just think it adds a fun little texture. And notice I'm using 4 embellishments, which is really rare for me. It's usually 3 and for sure an odd number. So that's a little different. Now for the inside, we don't have to put any special layer because the inside is already white. So I'm going to go back to the bright borders, and there's like 3 frames to choose from. And my old olive ink pad, oops, there's like a fuzz or a hair thing there. Let me re-ink it. So I'm just going to get that at the top and frame in our inside greeting. Yay, so happy for you. And some ladies already got to make this card, and they were like, oh, this is going to be a great shower card. So that would be great for something like that, or any kind of congrats. Or some people were just stamping this and they were going to put their own thing. It could be anniversary or like anything, right? And so that works out well. So that is this card coming together. Like I said, I cut these all down, these strips from 12 by 12 paper. But don't we all have those strips and wonder, what can I do with them? And you can just use this as a kind of a template for like guy cards. Just switch out the colors, put more masculine colors, more masculine strips. But that's the nice thing about those Spotlight on Nature dies, is that they kind of look good with everything, no matter the occasion. So they're very versatile that way. And yes, I am running a March host code this month. And what's exciting is I got some fun swag for on stage. So sometimes I send you guys cards that I have made up as a thank you for ordering. Sometimes it's embellishments or different things. This time I have some fun things. I'm going to keep it a secret, maybe until I send them all out, and then I might show what people got, maybe give like a, hey, you can still order and get this as a freebie from me. But it's kind of fun to get some things that are swag, some things that you might use in your everyday life, even if you weren't crafting. So that doesn't like give you any hints at all, but that will tell you that it's nothing that you can buy in the catalog, but I was able to pick that up in North Carolina through Stampin' Up. And so that's going to be exciting to mail out some of those things to those of you that have been ordering from me. All right, so tomorrow we're supposed to get a blizzard, but I'm also working at cutting away and finishing up the projects for Thursday's stamp camp. So I'm gonna have to work diligently, but I've got it all up here, right? And so that's what I'll be working on. There are still spots open. I would love to see like 10 more people come on Thursday, because that's how excited I am for the projects that I have planned and kind of preconceived that way. So I hope to also be back with a video for you guys tomorrow to just keep giving you guys some inspiration. So thank you so much, and see you later. Bye-bye.